Iron Man. Let's take a listen, guys. Let's go. Ooh. Let's go. Guys, Iron Man, guys. Wow. Guys, I feel like I mean right from the very first second, when Ozzy Osbourne growls, I am Iron Man. I mean, as a listener, you already know you are about to be taken, on one of the heaviest rides, in rock history. I mean, this track to me isn't just a song, it's a piece of heavy metal DNA, you know. And to me, after listening to this song, I feel like Iron Man, is one of those songs that defined what heavy metal, even was. It's for my own personal opinion. I mean, this album was released in 1970, and I feel like before Black Sabbath, nobody was really writing riffs, this heavy, this dark, this slow and ominous, and the fact that Tony Iommi, crafted that absolutely crushing riff after his accident where he lost the tips of his fingers and had to change his guitar style makes it even more legendary. The riff itself is hypnotic. It's almost like a giant machine stopping forward. You hear it once and it never leaves your head. Down. Guys, this is crazy. This is just crazy. Now, let's talk about the lyrics, and the story behind the song. So based on a few facts that I pulled up, Jesus Butler, who wrote the lyrics, came up with this, almost comic book like sort of tale. A man, travels, to the future, sees the apocalypse, but on his way back, he's transformed into into this, iron-like, figure. Instead of being celebrated as a hero, he's ignored. He is mocked, and ultimately becomes the destroyer, of mankind. It's to me. It's both sci-fi and tragic. It's about alienation, it's about rejection, it's about revenge. And I mean, as the Osbourne's voice delivers it with this eerie, detached tone that makes you feel the pain and anger of his outcast character. Yes, musically, this is Black Sabbath firing all cylinders. Tony Iommi's guitar riffs is monstrous. That's for damn sure. Just the Butler's bass, I mean, thickens the sound. And Bill Ward's drumming, guys, listen to how he accents those crushing hits, guys. He really gives it that unstoppable momentum. And I personally, I loved it. The production is raw, compared to modern standards, but I feel like that is what makes it feel alive. I love the fact that it's gritty, it's unpolished, and real. And honestly, that heaviness definitely sets the stage for every metal band that came after. Yeah, I said it. I feel like without this song Iron Man, you don't get Metallica, you don't get Slayer, you don't get Pantera, you name it. I mean, the sound is way ahead of its time. So big question: what makes the Iron Man so special? To me, what makes the Iron Man so special is how timeless it is. You can play this riff today in front of a crowd, that's never heard of Black Sabbath, and they will still headbang instantly. That's just my personal opinion, and I feel like that is power, total power. For me, this track is a perfect example of how Black Sabbath combined heaviness and with storytelling. It's not just doom and gloom. It's a narrative. It's an atmosphere. It's an attitude. Even if you are not a metalhead, you have to respect the sheer innovation here. So yeah, in my opinion, Iron Man isn't just a great song. It's one of the foundations of heavy metal. Yes. So what do you guys also think? Does Iron Man still hit as hard for you today? As it did back in the 70s. Do you remember the first time you heard that iconic riff? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's get into it. And if you're enjoying, these deep dives, into classic albums, and tracks, don't forget to, like, don't forget to hit the like button, and then subscribe, for more, deep reactions, deep cuts, such as this one.